GH Spoilers Wednesday, November 20. Awaited answers, unanswerable questions, heart to hearts. General Hospital, GH, spoilers and updates for Wednesday, November 20. T's awaited answers, unanswerable questions, and heart to hearts. Next on General Hospital. Portia Robinson, Brooke Care, calls with awaited answers, Dante Falconieri, Dominic Zamprogna, asks unanswerable questions, and Danny Morgan. Asher Antonisen and Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, have a heart-to-heart. General Hospital spoilers, decisions. Elizabeth Baldwin, Rebecca Hurst, and Lucky Spencer, Jonathan Jackson, have an important talk as they are leaving Sam McCall's Kelly Monaco funeral. Elizabeth tells Lucky that they do have to make the decision. This must be a decision about their son, Aiden Weber, Colin Cassidy. Lucky has had an attack of wanderlust come up again, feeling he had no more business to attend to in Port Charles. Elizabeth's not been happy with Lucky wanting to take off again, whether it be for what he considers good reasons or not. What is more humanitarian anyway, Lucky going back to Africa or some other country, or being a father to his son who needs him. GH spoilers, awaited answers. In the meantime, Portia is back at work at the hospital, and she makes an important phone call with awaited answers chances, or she's talking to Lucas Jones, Van Hansis. She says they have the results from his sister's autopsy, knowing he will want to see what tale they might tell. Lucas has been blaming himself and going over and over what he could have done wrong that could have caused Sam's death, even though he's been told it's not his fault. No one could have tried harder to bring Sam back to life after her unexpected heart attack. Portia had to convince him to call the time of death. But will the results show something totally unexpected and a medical mystery to solve? General Hospital spoilers, Molly reacts. Elsewhere, possibly back at work in the Assistant District Attorney's office as well, Molly Lansing Davis, Kristen Veganos, reacts. She reacts quite strongly, in fact, as she's upset when she tells someone that's not an option. Her mother, Alexis Davis, Nancy Lee Gran, makes a vow, and perhaps she makes her vow to Molly, and she disagrees. Molly will also disclose her father Rick Lansing's, Rick Hurst, plan regarding a case. Rick was working on 2 cases, both on hold pending the conclusion of Sam's funeral. GH spoilers. Unanswerable questions. Elsewhere, Dante is with Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Mancy, as they struggle with the facts surrounding Sam's death. Dante is no doubt asking unanswerable questions at this point. Likely if Sam decided to donate part of her liver to Lulu Spencer, Alexa Havens, because of him. He's obviously looking for someone to blame because there was no reason medically prior to the transplant for this deadly outcome. It may be Lucas who gathers the rest of Sam's loved ones and family members to explain what the autopsy results showed. General Hospital spoilers, heart to heart. No doubt Rocco Falconieri, Fincare, told Danny what he overheard about Jason and Drew Quartermain's, Cameron Matheson, fight, and now Danny's asking questions. It seems like Jason is being as honest as he can with his son, having stonewalled Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, about it previously. Michael Corinthos, Chad Dull, had told him some very sensitive information regarding his brother and Willow Corinthos, Caitlin McMullen. Jason most likely won't tell Danny all the gory details, other than telling him what happened between him and Drew stays between him and Drew. He may call the confrontation a private disagreement. GH spoilers. Lulu's unwelcome visitor. Lulu is now in Turning Woods, and Cyrus Renault, Jeff Kober, is disobeying his sister's request about getting permission to visit his niece. Laura Collins, Jenny Francis, and Martin Gray, Michael E. Knight, had come upon him in Lulu's room recently. Laura told him not to be sneaky about visitation and ask permission first, and even then didn't want him visiting her alone. But yet there he is, by her bedside with a Bible in hand, not realizing she's come out of her coma. As he tells her he's going to take care of her, he may find out the hard way if she remembers Cyrus from before her injury and wakes up suddenly. The crisp November air in Port Charles carried a weight of tension and anticipation. At General Hospital, questions lingered like storm clouds, and answers felt just out of reach. But amidst the chaos, heart-to-heart moments threatened to bring light to even the darkest corners. Awaited answers. In a quiet corner of the hospital, Carly Corinthos paced the waiting area, her signature intensity written all over her face. The text from Sonny had been cryptic. Need to talk. Big news. Can't wait. Now she couldn't help but wonder what big news meant this time. After their recent rekindling of their relationship, things had been fragile yet hopeful. But Sonny's ominous tone sent a shiver down her spine. Meanwhile, Sonny Corinthos stood in the chapel, running his fingers through his hair. He wasn't one to get rattled easily, but what he'd learned from Dex earlier that morning had floored him. A new shipment tied to pikemen had gone sideways, and the ripple effects could threaten everyone he loved. As he prepared to break the news to Carly, he couldn't shake the feeling that this time, they might not come out unscathed. Across town at Kelly's, Trina Robinson sat with Jocelyn Jacks, their heads bent together in a tense discussion. Trina's search for answers about her father, Curtis Ashford, had left her drained, and her best friend could see the toll it was taking. Maybe you should just ask him point blank, Jocelyn suggested, stirring her iced coffee. Trina sighed, her eyes filled with a mix of determination and doubt. It's not that simple. He's been so distant since the shooting. What if he's not ready to face the truth about how he's been acting? Or, Joss countered, what if you need answers more than he needs time? The unspoken truth lingered between them. Sometimes, waiting for answers wasn't an option. Unanswerable questions. At GH, Liz Weber stood at Finn's side as they reviewed a puzzling case together. A patient, Mrs. Danforth, had come in with symptoms that defied diagnosis. Finn scratched his head, flipping through test results, while Liz crossed her arms in thought. It's almost like the illness is mutating, Finn muttered, frustration evident in his voice. Liz nodded. But every treatment we've tried only makes things worse. We're running out of options. As the two exchanged theories, their professional camaraderie was tinged with a deeper connection. Both had endured so much loss recently, and in the unanswerable questions of their patient's case, they found a reflection of their own uncertainties. Down the hall, Michael Corinthos grappled with his own set of questions. Willow's leukemia remission was still a fragile victory, and every checkup felt like walking a tightrope. Today, she had an appointment with Terry Randolph, and while Michael wanted to believe the worst was behind them, the fear of relapse gnawed at him. As Michael paced the floor, Dex Heller approached, his demeanor unusually grim. "We need to talk," Dex said, pulling Michael into a side room. Michael frowned. "This about pikemen?" Dex nodded. "Yeah, it's worse than we thought." Michael's stomach churned. Between protecting his mother and trying to keep Willow safe, he felt like he was caught in an endless loop of impossible decisions. And now the weight of unanswerable questions pressed down on him even harder. Heart to hearts. In her apartment, Nina Reeves sat on the couch, twisting her hands nervously. Sasha Gilmore had agreed to come over, and the air was thick with the promise of a long-overdue conversation. Ever since Sasha's return to Port Charles, their relationship had been fraught with tension. Nina's betrayal still loomed large, but Sasha had started to show signs of forgiveness. When Sasha arrived, her guarded expression softened slightly at the sight of Nina's anxious face. "I wasn't sure if you'd actually show up," Nina admitted, her voice trembling. Sasha shrugged, setting her purse down. Neither was I. But here I am. As they sat across from each other, the floodgates opened. Nina apologized again, tears streaming down her face as she spoke of her regrets and the pain she'd caused. Sasha, while still hesitant, admitted that she missed the connection they once shared. "I'm not saying it'll be easy," Sasha said, "but maybe we can start over." Nina nodded, hope flickering in her eyes. "I'd like that." Elsewhere, Maxie Jones found herself in an unexpected heart-to-heart with Mac Scorpio. Over the years, Mac had been her rock, but since her move to Texas with Georgie and the fallout with Peter, their conversations had grown less frequent. Today, as they sat in the floating rib, Maxie opened up about her struggles balancing her new life with her old ties to Port Charles. "I miss being here," she confessed. "But every time I come back, it feels like I'm stepping into a life that doesn't fit anymore."